Michael Cohen logged 3 big days on Capitol Hill, and he's not even done testifying. When it's all over, it will be one of the most momentous, most watched activities of any person as a final act before, yes, reporting to prison. Cohen's time at FCI Otisville, one of America's cushiest prisons according to Forbes, will, however, differ greatly from the over 2 million Americans currently incarcerated. And a new HBO film, OG, explores the actual prison system by going inside through the story of someone that, while fictional in nature, the actual piece is shot almost entirely, get this, inside a real maximum security prison in Indiana. That is a real environment for a fictional universe exploring real problems facing anyone trying to shift from hard time to freedom.
Running with them, no future in it, especially with what's going on right now. When it pop off, you'll be the first to get it. Hey, dignity, self-respect, grace. At the end of the day, that's what you want to try to hold on to in here. Might not mean much to you now, but it's something to remember.
And I'm joined now by that very actor, the star of OG, Jeffrey Wright, an Emmy and Tony Award winner. Thanks for coming on The Beat.
Thanks for having me.
Important project. Why was it important to you to shoot inside a real prison?
I did it, I think, to educate myself, to inform myself a little deeper on the issues, but also on a creative level to see if I could pull it off, if I could deliver an authentic performance in the company of these men who know this story in much more detail than I do, and they were big help to me. I had at any given moment, I had 100 expert consultants on set to talk me through various things. It was an incredibly moving process for me.
Michael Cohen, as I mentioned, headed to prison. Chairman Cummings, in that dramatic hearing, said that the way President Trump has talked about Cohen has actually put him in danger. Take a look.
I know that it's painful going to prison. I know it's got to be painful being called a rat. I live in the inner city of Baltimore. All right? And when you call somebody a rat, that's one of the worst things you can call them, because when they go to prison, that means a snitch.
Is he right about the implication that Donald Trump was putting Michael Cohen in extra danger?
I can't speak to that. I have been to Otisville, though. I've been to the medium security prison there, screening a film with the Tribeca Film Institute. So when I look at these guys,
the Trump guys,
and I look at the opportunity that the Michael Cohens have had, that the Paul Manaforts have had in their lives to better themselves, the opportunity that they've had to develop positive outcomes on a personal level for themselves, and yet choose an egregiously immoral path, I don't think that I look at them with the type of understanding that I look at some of these guys who did much more violent crime, simply because these guys never had the opportunity to explore more.
You know how plots work?
Sure.
How do you see the plot of this Mueller probe ending?
Certainly what we've seen from the cases that have been made public, you know, the charges against Manafort, the implications there relative to foreign policy decisions that were made, certainly at the Republican National Convention. If, we can only wonder, only speculate at what the business ties of the president, how those might have informed or are informing policy decisions relative to Saudi Arabia, to, to Russia, and in any other place that he might have business. I mean, it seems pretty evident that there's something going on that's undermining the strength of our democracy and undermining the strength of our governance. Something is rotten in this Denmark.
Before I let you go, Van Jones has worked on these issues. He was speaking at a conservative conference about reform. Take a look at what he just said.
The conservative movement in this country, unfortunately, from my point of view, is now the leader on this issue of reform. Take some dadgum credit for being smart.
Talking about the First Step Act, which was bipartisan, although I'm not sure that Republicans have always been in the lead. Your view?
Well, they weren't in the lead when Obama was in the office, and they wouldn't. Mitch McConnell wouldn't bring it up for a vote. So I'm not sure. This is politics, and I think Van is playing some politics there as well. I mean, I appreciate that he's trying to reach out to the other side. I appreciate that he's trying to find common ground, but I'm not so sure why he's so enthusiastic about laying praise at the foot of the Republicans and Donald Trump. For me, the experience of working on this film spoke less about criminal justice reform as it did about the drivers that lead young men, young people into situations in which they find themselves with multi-decade prison sentences.
It's an important conversation, and I think it's one this film goes at in a really interesting way. Jeffrey Wright, the film is OG, available now on HBO. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.